Now, I saw a really interesting article online. What makes it interesting is that it was written by a Western woman who teaches in Thailand. Now, I'm not sure when exactly this article was written. It could be a few years old. So some of the stuff that she mentions, like prices or exchange rates, might be a little bit outdated, but it's still an interesting read. When I first read it, I thought it was a bit negative. What I mean by this is, she's obviously been living here for a while. There are different ways to look at the place you live. And often, when I'm at a bar in Thailand, I meet foreigners who do nothing but complain about the country. They keep talking about what they don't like about Thailand, and there's never any positivity. And I always think, why are you even here then? Maybe it's time to leave for you. But anyways, let me know what you think in the comments. 10 things no one tells you about Thailand. You've probably heard that Thailand is a stunning country with amazing natural scenery, mouth-watering food that you'll want to learn how to cook yourself, and people who are super friendly and welcoming. There are deep jungles to explore, tropical islands to escape to, and waterfalls to swim in. But once you've been here for more than a couple of weeks, you might start noticing things about Thailand no one has ever told you, and that were definitely not in the fancy travel brochures. Living here, or even just being on holiday, is pretty great, but here are just a few things that might surprise you about Thailand. Number 1, you can't flush toilet paper. Okay, this might seem like a no-brainer for a toilet, but in Thailand, toilets and the plumbing can't handle toilet paper. In restaurants and public toilets, you'll see signs begging you not to throw it in the open bin instead. I got told off by an old Thai lady at a gas station once for not putting my used toilet paper in the shared bin by the sink. Even if I knew, I think I'd still risk getting scolded rather than doing that. It just seems so unhygienic. If you try to ignore this rule and flush it down, be ready to use the plunger regularly. Number 2, it's not as cheap as you think. Sure, if you come here with a strong exchange rate like 70 baht to the pound, which out more like is 45 to the pound actually in 2024, you're gonna find life here easy on your wallet. Prices do vary a lot depending on where you are though. Non-touristy areas will be much cheaper than places like Pattaya or Phuket. There's lots of cheap Thai food around. In a lot of these local places, outdoor places with mosquitoes and wooden benches, you go outside and the prices can be very cheap, but if you want to go inside a place with air conditioning, the price will often jump up to 200 to 500 a meal, which can be quite pricey if you're living here. A trip to the doctor cost me 3,000 just for a shot and some tablets. Visa runs every 90 days will also cost you a small fortune, plus 1,900 baht to extend it by 30 days. If you need to leave the country, you'll have to pay for transport, accommodation, and a new tourist visa. For those wanting to live and work here, the non-immigrant B visa is 2,000 baht for a single entry and 5,000 for multiple entries, not to mention the cost of a work permit. Number 3, tourism is everywhere. Thailand is one of the most popular holiday spots with great flights and travel packages, so it's pretty much always packed with tourists. Especially on islands, you'll find more Europeans living there than Thai people. Many locals have sold their properties to make way for luxury resorts and restaurants along the coast. Koh Lanta is even nicknamed the Swedish island because there's just so many Swedish people living there. Koh Phanang has a big Israeli community with lots of kosher places, and Koh Samui just feels like tropical Russia. My class has Russian and Thai kids. My husband teaches Russian and English to kids. And even my yoga instructor is Russian. Most restaurants have Russian on their menus, and nowadays I hear more Russian spoken than Thai. And number 4, the king is everywhere. The Thai king is hugely loved and respected by Thai people. You'll find pictures of the king and his wife in every shop, restaurant and school. People speak about him with a lot of affection, and school kids sing the royal anthem alongside the Thai anthem at least once a week. At the cinema, when the king's tribute plays on screen and everyone stands up, you've got to stand up too as a sign of respect. Just a heads up, the tribute can be quite emotional to watch. Now, number 5, couples with huge age gaps. You won't often find many places in the world with as many older European men, often over 60, married to women in their 20s. When people first come here, they're often surprised to see young Thai girls with men old enough to be their grandfathers. But if you live here, it starts to feel pretty normal to see older guys with new, young families. Many European men come here on retirement visas, marry Thai women and start new families. A Thai friend of mine explained that a lot of Thai women do it for security, to send their kids to good schools, and to help their families back home. She also said that many Thai women don't learn English and that their husbands don't learn Thai, which leads to a lot of arguments and misunderstandings. She herself says she wouldn't marry an old man for those reasons. She only wants to marry for love. Number 6. You're going to be sweaty all the time. Don't get me wrong, I'm a sun lover, but I've never been this hot all day, every day. In a humid tropical place like this, you'll never get a break from the heat. Whether you're in the shade, indoors, or even in the ocean, it's about 38 degrees Celsius all the time. You'll sweat while you sleep, as soon as you wake up, right after your shower, and even when you're changing clothes. Unless you've got a portable air conditioner with you all the time, there's no escaping it. There are no cold days in southern Thailand, and the coolest I've ever felt is outside when I was riding a scooter. If you don't want to change clothes 3 times a day, avoid visiting the islands in April and May. Number 7. Thai people aren't great at driving cars. When it comes to scooters, Thai people are pro. They've been riding them since they were kids, and they keep riding them well into their old age. You'll see mums with babies on the scooter, whole families riding on one, and even a dog. But when it comes to driving cars, even some of my male Thai friends admit they're not so great. On the islands, there's this trend of buying big Hilux trucks and SUVs, but after years of riding just a scooter, they drive their cars like their scooters. Drivers will often speed up and slow down randomly when they turn. Most cars come to a full stop before turning into a driveway. On a scooter, you can often zip between cars easily, but here, big trucks will overtake cars by moving entirely into the opposite lane, as if they forget how big they are. Number 8. Mosquitoes and other creepy crawlies. If you think you know what it's like to deal with big mosquitoes, think again. You can burn all the mosquito coils you want, cover your house in lemongrass, and bathe in bug repellent. You'll still be bitten every day. If you're lucky, you won't get bitten by a dengue carrying mosquito, which bites during the day. Ants are everywhere too. But here, they're big red ones that bite hard and cause swelling and itching. Even small ants chew through big, thick bags of coffee, rice, and even muesli, and often get into containers of peanut butter. Basically, anything edible has to go in the fridge. Oh, and we have pythons in the garden. Number 9. When it rains, you lose water, power, and Wi-Fi. These are extreme days, which come at random. On a rainy day, though, roads can flood, and going out without a plastic poncho is crazy. During the monsoon season, it can often rain non-stop for a week. Make sure to stock up on candles and save some water for brushing your teeth. Number 10. Thai bar girls. We've all heard about the ping pong shows, ladyboys, and sketchy foreigners, but you might be surprised by how accepted Thai bar girls are. Prostitution in Thailand got big because it brought in so much money from US troops stationed here during the Vietnam War. Thai people don't see bar girls the same way the West does. On one hand, these girls come from really poor backgrounds and are undereducated, working to support their family in the villages. They are bound to the bars they work for and get fined if they don't make enough money each month. So guys, this article was, I think, written a few years ago by this Western woman, and I mean, yes, it has some negativity to it, but for the most part, I think it's not too far off from the actual reality. But you might disagree with me, and there are still like some things that I disagree with. She says that it often floods and there's no power, blah blah blah, but that only happens in areas that are not like Pattaya or Bangkok or Phuket. The main areas, the touristy developed areas, won't often have these problems, but of course if you're in rural Thailand, there will be some development lacking. So guys, if you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing and let me know in the comments what you think about this list.